Everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of my Grue Rume Show. And for the Grue Rume Show today, I got a very awesome guest, a very cool guest, and his name is Raymartin. He wrote, direct, and stars in the new horror film called The Patrolman. And I'm really looking forward to talking to him about the horror movie. And as you know, I'm a big horror fan, so anytime I get to talk horror is a-okay in my book. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Room. And my interview with Raymartin be coming up very soon. This is my Grue Room, and as always, welcome to my nightmare. So stay tuned. All right, buddy. Welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for taking time out of your night and coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, of course. So like the first I want to ask you before we get into the horror film that you have coming out, what what drew you to like want to do film? Like I see you do a little bit of everything. You
Yeah.
direct, you write, you act. Like how did you get involved with doing a whole bunch of stuff, wearing many hats?
Yeah, sure. I love to answer that. So when I was a little kid, I had no friends. I got bullied as a child. I had real bad buck teeth, like out to here. And all I had was I had no siblings. I was an only child,
Oh,
and
that's me.
so you understand it. And
Yeah.
my father, he was involved. Like me and my dad are super close, but he worked night work, so he would leave for night work in the afternoon, and from like 3 o'clock on, it was just me and my mom, and
Mhm.
we would watch movies. And I knew from the time I was young that I wanted to be an actor.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so when I was about 17, I graduated high school from Marshall's O'Brien, Philly, and
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah.
and I knew that I want to be an actor. So my mom found me this agent, and she was like, if any of your viewers like Friends, she was like Estelle from Friends, Joey's agent. She was like a chain smoker who wore jogging suits, and she was horrible. And she got me this show called Ed, which was on NBC. And she didn't tell me what I was going to be doing. She just told me to be at 15th Street in Manhattan, like on a Tuesday. And this crew van picked me up and it took me to Montclair, New Jersey. And I said, "Okay, where's my trailer?" And they say, "No, no, you're an extra." And I said, "Well, what's that mean?" And they're like, "Just go over there and stand with everyone else." And I said, "Okay." And then I got hungry and I went over to the table and um, I started talking to this guy and he was like, "Oh, what do you got going on besides this?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm auditioning to be a VJ." That's like Carson Daly when he was
Yeah,
popular.
yeah, yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm from Canada." Now I never met anyone from Canada. It was my first time leaving Pennsylvania, and I'm like, "Oh, you have MTV there?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm from Canada." Like, you serious, dude? What's wrong with you? And he's like, "You're kind of funny." And I'm like, "Well, thanks, bud." I said, I started talking to him, and he's like, "I'm Tom Cavanaugh," and I was like, "Oh my god!" So it was his show. He was Ed, you know. So I got in the
Okay,
part.
okay.
Yeah, and for your viewers, he's on the Flash right now. I think, right? Is that
I
still on that
I
TV show?
I think it's still on. It might be in its like last season. Like I'm not sure if it's still on or not.
Well, so I got in the Screen Actors Guild that day, which was awesome, right? And I got to work on that, and then Sopranos and every Law and Order, Third Watch, you name it. If it was in New York, I worked on it. And um, are we able to pause by chance for 1 second? I'm
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
so sorry.
sure.
Is that mess up anything for you?
No, no.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm home by myself with the kids, and my son is in the bathroom and needs me just for 1 second. I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
you got it. It's
All right,
all right.
one
It's
second.
all
All right,
right.
thank you.
Okay.
So so yeah, I got in the Screen Actors Guild that day, which was pretty awesome. And I got to work on Sopranos and Law and Order, everything that was in New York at the time, the early 2000s. I got to work on, and um, it's funny. My daughter asked the other day, "Did you ever work with Sandler?" Because my humor is kind of like shtick, and I put all my family in all the movies like he does, and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I did. I was the back of my head is in Mr. Deeds. So I guess it still counts, as being in a Sandler movie. But yeah, so got to do that for a couple years, and then my mom got sick with cancer right when I auditioned for like my biggest part, and her and my dad were together since eighth grade, and they both really needed me, and I stayed home with her and kind of put acting on the back burner, and she
Yeah,
passed,
yeah.
and then I wound up meeting my wife when I you know came back home, and I started the country's first all green chauffeur service, meaning all hybrid vehicles.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, for like airport stuff. Like, so instead of like business people taking taxis, they would use our service. And
Oh, okay.
I missed acting. This was like '08, and I was like, how can I intertwine the two? And this was before Seinfeld had his show. The driving in cars with celebrities while drinking
Yeah.
coffee, and before carpool karaoke, before all that. Um, and I was trying to figure it out, and I ran into Paul Rudd
Yeah.
and Reese Witherspoon,
Oh.
and yeah, and he was so cool, and he explained to me what like a synopsis was, and like everything I needed to know to try to pitch a TV show, and but then she made me feel like I was going to steal him because I walked on the set and I didn't belong, so she had every right. Um, but it made me feel when I felt like I was going to steal him, like forget about the TV show. I'm going to write a movie called Stealing Paul Rudd.
Oh my God.
So I didn't go to school for writing. I didn't go to school for directing. Um, I just have a passion and a love for movies, all from being a child who was raised by probably movies I shouldn't have been watching at a young age, but it molded me into who I was. And so I wrote these 15 scenes that had it probably looked like a child wrote them, you know. And and I put them in a drawer. And then one day, maybe like a month later, a client had told me that her husband went to school for writing.
Okay.
So I gave him this, my scribble, and he made it a real script. And we went to LA and we spent 10 years doing what Hollywood tells you, right? Like
Yeah.
setting it out and it coming back with red ink all over it, and them telling us what we need to do and what changes we need to make, and then finding an actor that it could be changed to, right? Because we could never get close to Paul Rudd. Believe me, I tried. No restraining order, but I tried. Uh, um, and it went from like Christian Slater, Steve Gutenberg, Jeff Goldblum, you name it, I got in front of them, and somehow, some way, I got to pitch, but it was always like, oh,
Yeah.
do you have financing? No, no, I don't. Does
Yeah.
that come first? Is that what I need first? Oh, okay. Okay. Back to the drawing board. And then um Jim Brewer, the comedian, like him
Hmm.
to you name it. And I kept getting my heart broken. So I came back home and I said, to my wife, there has to be another way. I have to not be taking day trips out to LA anymore just to try to do this. So I went down, I wanted to try to meet John Cusack.
All right. Okay.
He was in Philly for a Wizard World. Remember those Wizard World
Oh my
conventions?
God. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And his line was like forever long. So I went and I got in front of Thomas Ian Nicholas, who you've interviewed.
I have. Yes.
Yeah,
American Pie.
yeah, and we became fast friends. And
Okay.
he wanted to be him. It was going to be him, you know. And then Mickey Rourke called him a couple months later, and Mickey Rourke wanted to do a movie that Thomas had, and that's how the business
Really?
works, Like everybody has a script, even the
Mickey
doorman.
Rourke.
Yeah. So like my heart got broken again. So finally, one of my clients gave me the money for the first movie. I got Norm from Cheers to play my dad, and the movie went great. And I got thrown into directing because the producer loved the script, but he wanted more of what was in my heart, like more of like how I explained it. And I got thrown into directing, and I got thrown into improvisation, and which I love.
Nice.
And having a scene set up and watching the scene unfold, and then saying, "Nah, we're gonna change it up right now,"
Yeah, yeah.
and learning to work with actors that were comfortable doing that, and some that weren't. But I love improv. Do you like improv?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not really good at it, but I like watching it.
Yeah, it's fun when it all unfolds. And then I got introduced to Scott, and Scott and I hit it off. And as you know, Scott is my distributor, uh,
Hmm.
and he's amazing. And he got my humor.
Okay,
And
okay.
and I have a lot of shtick comedies we do. And I don't know if you heard, but we actually have a movie where we kidnap Smalls from the Sandlot. Did you see this?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's called Killing Smalls, Kilin, and Smalls with a Z.
Oh my
Um,
God.
yeah, it's crazy. So that's out there. But bottom line is, I always had horror in my heart,
Yeah.
and Scott said, let's go for it. Let's do it. And we came up with the Patrolman,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I liked Maniac Cop when I was a kid,
Oh my God, I love that movie.
and I actually became a huge fan of Leo Rossi when I was a kid. He's in Maniac Cop
Hmm.
2.
Hmm.
He's also Bud from Halloween 2. He's the ambulance driver that says, "Amazing Grace, come sit on my."
Yes.
That's his.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's his
I
famous line.
remember.
He played my father in Killing Small, so I got to spend some time with him and talk to him about horror movies and everything. So it was a long time coming. The Patrolman was, and
Mhm.
I I I thought, like, of course, I loved Friday the 13th
Oh, of
and, uh,
course.
and Halloween and everything, and
The
uh,
classics.
all the classics, and this gentleman
Freddy.
for all of everything, and this gentleman, Joe Austin, who was a professional boxer from Kensington in Philly.
Oh,
uh,
okay.
he came into my life. We became friends. My wife and I became friends with him and his wife, and this guy's like 6'5", and he's like 200 and maybe like 30 pounds of solid muscle.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I'm doing this movie, man, and I need you to be the guy, be the guy behind the mask, and he said yes. And his presence is seen on that camera, but so
Damn, that is a big guy.
he's a big guy. He's a big guy, right? And what was Rob Zombie's Michael Myers? 6'9",
I think so. That's what's his name?
Tower Maine.
Tyler. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was tall and he put on a lot of muscle for that movie because he's like a pretty thin guy.
yeah,
And he put on like a lot of solid muscle for the Halloween films.
yeah, yeah. So Joe has such a good presence, and we got Jonathan Davis from the Terrifier 2.
Oh my God, yes.
Jonathan
Yes.
Davis is the clerk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got him in Patrolman as well, and then a couple other guys that have been in all my movies. Killing Smalls and everything. Damon Forte, he's an awesome actor. He reminds me of a young Danny Aiello. I don't know if a lot of your followers will know Danny Aiello. You remember Danny
Oh,
Aiello?
I definitely do. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like a young Danny Aiello. Um, and yeah, and I love working with all the same actors all the time. Like we found such a good chemistry, and
Mhm.
so Patrolman, to me, when I first wrote it, it came, I wanted to be that the Patrolman was that presence, that Michael Myers presence, that
Exactly.
you know that,
Exactly.
and I want so bad to be accepted to the horror world, like
Yeah.
because I grew up like that was my thing, man. USA Up All Night with
With
USA, yeah,
Rhonda Shear.
USA
Yeah.
Up All Night,
Yes. Yes.
Gilbert Godfrey, and I that was my hopes, and along the ride of this, it also turned into a cop drama, right? So I feel like critics and I feel like people when they watch it, they're going to say, "Well, it's horror, it's there. We
Yeah.
see the character, it's there, but it's also a cop drama too, and it's a fun ride." Did you watch it?
Hmm.
Okay, and
Yeah. Yeah.
did you
They
you
sent
you
they sent they they sent me the screener for that. Yeah,
would you categorize? Am I on the right? You know,
you're you're on the right thing. Yeah, I mean, I I do see the horror part. Like I definitely see the horror part of the movie.
right. But it became this cop drama, and what I can promise the audience is this: that if they liked what they saw in the Patrolman and they liked that character, and
Yeah.
they want to see more of that guy, I promise you that Patrolman 2 will be way more of that guy. Way more
Oh, okay.
of that man behind that mask.
The man behind the
Well,
mask.
the man in front of the mask, I should say. The Joe, more of that 6'5" character lurking
Yeah,
around.
more that boxer guy.
Yeah, yeah. So if the audience, blesses us and gives it a chance, I promise that Patrolman 2 will deliver on more of the classic horror stuff that everyone wants. Uh,
Okay.
yeah. So that's the best way I could categorize what we did, and I think it's exciting because when we do the sequel, like you'll understand more about the characters involved, and I really
Exactly.
consider Patrolman to be like an origin story in a way of what Patrolman 2 will be and Patrolman 3 will be. We're not going to stop, and we're only going to make it more horror, moving
Oh
forward.
yeah.
But I think it's
So
important to understand these characters, and know where it came from. And this is a great starting point.
yeah, like this is like your version of Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and Jason and Pinhead and Leatherface. Like this is your version of that.
Yes, yes, it is. What do you think of the character of of the all blacked out mask? And did you feel that vibe? Did you like that vibe?
Definitely, yeah. Like I saw the size of the guy, and like the first thing that came to my mind was like, oh my god, this guy's huge, because he gave off like Tyler Mane vibes from like Halloween.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I hope that the audience gives it a chance, and
Mm,
that you got to start somewhere, right?
of
And you got to
course,
understand
yes.
characters, and I feel like we gave enough of what we want to do in Patrolman 1, and we're excited to bring the world more as well.
Okay, okay. So it's like the thing I wanted to ask you is like, you know, without giving too much away, of course, about the film, like, did did you have a certain scene that you loved the most? Because you star in it, you direct it, you write it, of course. Um, or I guess I'll make it like a two-part question. Like, is there a scene that you like directing the most, and a scene that you like to be in the most?
Okay, so a scene that I like directing the most, um, I would say, was the the coming down the steps, right? The coming down the we have, without giving away too much, before one of the kills. Let's just call it that. The coming down
Mhm.
the steps, being there on the set and seeing this man come down these steps. I knew that this was what I wanted. This was who I wanted.
Okay.
When he comes down those steps, and when we shoot it from the top of the steps, that's an homage to Halloween 1 when Michael Myers is on the top of those steps.
Yes.
When the chase scene starts before Laurie runs across the street,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's right there. And I don't know if you caught it, but we also put the mask on the camera to give a POV shot. Did you see that?
I Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
And again, that's a callback to Halloween 1 with the clown mask. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, it was such an inspiration to me, such a, and I wanted to pay respect to what I think is the best horror movie ever made. To me, there's never going to be a better than Halloween 1. Although Halloween 2 is a close second. Don't get me wrong. I love the
Halloween
vibe.
2 was really good. Like I
Yeah.
enjoyed that a lot. But
Yeah.
yeah, like Halloween 1 is it's hard to beat that movie. Like, of like one of the greatest horror films ever.
Yeah, and in a way, it's like with Halloween one, they had to tell the story and see him in the hospital and know all that. And with Halloween two, this is a perfect example. Halloween two, it's real all about the kills,
Yeah.
and real all about like he gave Carpenter gives us, you know, from the time he's in that alleyway, right, to the
Hmm.
lady in the ham sandwich, to the girl in the house, to then the strip mall with the kid on the radio who was actually his son, believe it or not, was Michael Myers, the guy who played Michael Myers. He's a stuntman. That was his son, who bumped into him with
Oh.
the radio. Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so all that, like, you get to see that dude not behind a wall, but out in public, you know, and and that's what I want to do. Like, I want Patrolman Two to be
Yeah.
this guy walking around, the audience, seeing him and what he's all about. And I want people to get excited about this character, and that's why I feel with Patrolman One that you got to know the character first. You got to know where it came from. You got to know why the mask is even out there, and that's what
Yeah.
we're giving you. We're giving you that in Patrolman One, but you got to
That's
stay for Patrolman Two.
that's that's smart. That's really smart. I like that. Like you're building up the character to for like a splatter fest in the second one.
Exactly, exactly, Rocco. And I'm asking your audience and I'm asking the horror audience to understand that I feel like you have to do that. You have to
Yeah.
know where this comes from and the mask comes from. And I promise that you guys will appreciate Patrolman 2 even more because I
Mhm.
think
All right. Okay. I like that.
because
Nice.
you know how it works, dude. There's going to be people saying, this ain't a horror movie. There's not enough this. There's not enough that.
Yeah.
Listen, we're telling you up front. Give us a chance to tell you a story, you know?
Yeah. But like you're even saying it yourself, like this isn't a full blown horror film. Like it has horror elements in it, but it's not a horror film. Like you're waiting
Right.
for the sequel and whatever else comes after that to be like a full blown horror film.
Correct. And we want you to watch one so you can respect two.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
exactly.
know,
Exactly.
you know, like we're like a hot girl on a first date. Here's a kiss for you, but you can't have nothing else until you take me out to dinner.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, yeah. So you have to get over that first date, and it's
Yes.
important because you want to get to know that girl, and you want to get to know us. You want to get to know this movie. You want to get to know the patrolman, so you can respect and enjoy Patrolman 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because we're
Definitely,
coming for you.
definitely. And then hey, you never know. Like if movie rights plan out and all that, you might even be able to do a crossover of Patrolman versus Myers or Art the Clown or like
I'm excited about the future of movies. I'm excited, to have the opportunity to make a movie,
yeah.
and to anyone who watches this and they're home, they have an idea for a movie, and um, they're being held back because Hollywood's telling them they need this or that, or their friends are telling them, you'll never do it.
Mhm.
Do it, do it,
Well,
and do it your way.
Hollywood isn't doing much now.
No, they're not, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But I just want people to know that, man, you just got to do it and do it your way. And if one person watches it or 1,000 people watch it, if you make one person's day and one person got something out of that movie, or got excited or just was able to check out, you know, for that hour, then you did something good. And that's why I make
Oh,
movies.
definitely. Definitely. And like when you're on set, like like you, like I said earlier, like you star in the movie, you direct, you
Yeah,
write, like this movie is like your kid, like like you're creating it from scratch and making it into something big. So when you're on set as an actor, is it hard for you to direct yourself as an actor?
no, you know why? Because I I have my friends around me who are acting as well, and they'll tell me if I was shit.
Okay, that works. That
If I
works.
think I didn't need another take, and they think there's no way, you know, I, I'll tell you one thing that's hard. Um, when you have a big scene as a
Yeah,
director, and you have to be there, and remember, there's a scene in this movie where I give everything, and I wasn't there, um, right after that for one of my guys, where like, you gotta always make sure you're 100%. Like a lot of actors, you know, no matter who they are, sometimes they won't be there for the turnaround. They
yeah,
won't be there for the turnaround lines, and I never would do that. You got to be there for your guys. You know what I mean? Uh, you got to make sure that you're there for your people. Um, so even I did find it hard for about 20 seconds to snap out of, you know, how deep the scene was and how much I gave, but I remembered from what I learned from some of the greatest actors, to make sure that you're there for your partner, and being a director, even more you have to be there. You know what I mean? So you have to be present. So, and my guys tell me if I'm not, and my guys tell me you know, if I miss something. Like we're a family. Ray Martin Films is a family,
yeah.
right? I'm nothing without any of these people. We're about to start our 15th movie, and
15.
our 15th movie in three
Wow.
years, and it's all because we're a family.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And like you were mentioning earlier about Halloween, like the one of the things that made Halloween the classic it is now is John Carpenter's theme song. And like where did you get your score at for the film?
Oh my God. Okay, this is so cool. First of all, did you like the score?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I believe in fate, and without getting too deep into anything, I believe my mom in heaven is always watching over me. Okay. And I got blessed. The guy who normally did my sound was not available,
Okay.
and my daughter had someone sleep over our house in the summer. And when the father came to pick her up, we met, and he said he saw a couple of my movies, and he said that he does sound and
Oh,
final
okay.
final mixing, and he went to Temple University
Yeah, yeah.
and he made a trailer that evening based on. I said I'll send you some stuff and see what you want to do. He made a trailer. He stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning making it. No one asked him to do it. He did it. I fell in love with it, and I couldn't unsee it or unhear it. And
Wow.
you have to do the sound. So I didn't. I went and took no for an answer. I told him right away he has to do it, and thank God he said yes. He could have told me no way, but he said yes. And he did final sound without even knowing this guy, and we just shot a movie called
Okay.
23rd Street, that comes out Christmas. But we met in July. We already shot a movie together, and he did final sound on Patrolman, and he made it. And he created some of this music on his own. You know,
Really?
yes, and it was just like being on the phone with him and saying like, "Hey, this scene. Think of Michael Myers. Think of the piano, but I don't want to get sued. Uh, but think that and put that with a little bit of the House of the Rising Sun,
Okay.
but somehow together mix that, and then he'd be like, "Hold on," and then he would go to his piano, and then he would start playing with the piano while I was on the phone with him, and then boom. So his
My
name is
God,
Chris.
it was that fast?
Yes, his name is Chris Bean. His name is Chris Bean, and you can contact raymartinfilms.com to get a hold of him if anybody needs him, if they like what they hear. But
Yeah.
he is a genius,
Yeah, it
and
sounds like it.
yeah, he knocked it out. He knocked it out of the park.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
And it's trust, man. It's everybody comes into your life for a reason, and we got to talk, you and I, a little bit before this, and like I said, you seem like a great guy. You love movies, and I want
Yes.
you to be involved in one of our next movies. Like I
Oh my
feel like
God.
we're,
Yes.
like we're gonna do this movie called Final Cut, and I'm playing like an eccentric director who made a 4.5 hour horror movie that the world shit on, because who makes a 4.5 hour horror movie, right? And the world's shitting on me at that moment in my life, and uh, I decide that I want to get the best writers I can up to my cabin in the woods to make the best horror movie, but not just a regular horror movie, the best 5 minute horror movie that's just for TikTok and, you know, all the socials, not actually, because everyone's tension span these days,
Oh
they
yeah,
make
of course. Of
something.
course. Yeah.
So I'm excited about that character to play that, and that will be Final Cut. And then right after we finish that, we're going to go right into Patrolman 2.
Wow. Yeah, like this era, like they a typical like fan can't sit through a movie that's more than 2 hours long.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I cannot stress enough to you, man. Like I really feel when people watch this trailer and when they see the movie poster and they see that,
Mhm.
they're going to get it. They're going to like what they see. But I need them to keep coming back for what we have coming, because then you're going to see the true horror of the
Of
patrol.
course.
You
Of
know,
course. Okay, all right, I like that. So, like, where can fans actually like? When's the film coming out? Where could they see it? Where could they follow it?
so the Patrolman is now available on Amazon.
Okay.
Yep. So you can just go right on to Amazon and type in Patrolman and it comes right up. Yeah. Are you able to put the links and stuff when you're
Oh yeah, definitely.
cool? Cool. Yeah, man. And oh, did I lose you?
No, no, I'm here.
Yeah. Where can we find it, Ray? Well, it's available, and then you lost me. That's great. That was perfect. Scott will be very happy with this interview. This is great. But it was worth it talking to you. No, but yeah. So fans, fans of your show can go on Amazon and check out the Patrolman. I
Mhm.
asked check out raymartinfilms.com, and and let's make sure that you're in the next one.
Oh wow, yo, yes, definitely. You know, as big of a horror fan as I am, and the only films I've ever been in were horror films. I mean, I don't think I ever done a film that wasn't horror yet, because I mean I haven't done many. Like I've only been like a few of them, like very low budget. Well, I can't even say low budget. It was like practically no budget. But
Are you going to MonsterCon this weekend?
I am. I
Yeah.
am, yeah.
You like Matt Lillard?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. You're gonna call my mom and dad. They're gonna be so mad at me. I love that part. I mean, he inspired me when I was a kid to want to. He was one of the people
My
inspired.
mom's gonna kill me.
Yeah. Why'd you do it, Stu? Peer pressure, man. It was all peer pressure. You stabbed me too hard, man. I'm
I'm
bleeding.
I'm feeling a little woozy.
I'm feeling so woozy here. He's the best. Um, I I want to work with him, and I hope that one day we will. I think I'm going to meet him on Sunday, so I'm excited to get up there. I want to go up there on Sunday and meet him. So,
See, I'm gonna be there the day before on Saturday.
are you going to go meet? Do you like Lillard? Have you met him before?
I I never met him yet, but I have to pick and choose who I meet because it is pricey.
It is. It is. It is.
So I actually bought a photo op with David Howard Thornton. He's dressed as Art,
Yes. Have you
and
had Have you had Jonathan on the show yet?
I wait, Jonathan. The
Jonathan Davis from my movie and from Patrol.
no, no, I think I messaged him and I never heard back. But
What?
I did have like I had mostly everybody from Terrifier 2 on there. Like I had the the young the young the young kid, the one with the glasses,
Yeah.
and I had the main girl from the show, the one who kills Art, and the girl who gives birth to Art's head. I had her on the show,
Wow. Wow. That's
and I
cool.
actually did have Art the clown, David Howard Thornton. I had him on for Terrifier 1.
Oh,
I didn't get him back for Terrifier 2, but I did have him for Terrifier 1.
I saw you had Stallone on too,
I
right? Is that right?
did. I did.
Yeah,
Yes.
you were like a table, round table.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
For
That
you,
was awesome. Like I he has like a thing out now too, like a
I
dot.
watched it.
Yeah, Sly. It's
Why?
called. And if the actor strike wasn't on, like I probably would have got him back again. I because I for some reason they always like say yes to me when I asked if I could do roundtables with Sly, and I did it twice now with him. So
Really?
if the strike wasn't on, I probably would have got to do it again
Yeah,
with him.
man.
Yeah,
That's awesome. He's a good man.
he is. He is. He's like real down to earth, funny.
Yeah. He was a big inspiration to me growing up as well, being from Philly and being a,
Oh yeah, of course, of
you
course.
know,
I think everyone growing up in Philly, Sly was like a big part of their lives.
yeah. What's your favorite Rocky?
My favorite one is probably. I mean, I love the first one, of course, but probably my favorite one is the third one because I'm a huge wrestling fan, and when he fights Hogan.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's great. I love it. I love it, man. Yeah, I love Rocky Five when you knocked him down. Why don't you try knocking me down? And he's like, my ring's outside. I
Yeah.
love that, but I really love when at the end when he goes up the art museum steps with the kid and the kid's like, Dad, you're
Oh
gonna
yeah, with
love
his
it.
son.
Yeah, he's like, you're gonna love it in here. They got Picasso, Michelangelo, and he's like, I love almost everybody. He's the best.
I know. I know. Yeah,
So
yeah. Rocky Five, like the scene where his son is getting jumped in the. Remember when they jump him and they steal his jacket?
yeah, that's E from Entourage.
Yeah, yeah, like that street next to the schoolyard. That's actually where I live.
Nuh-uh.
Yes.
Were you there when they were filming? You grew up
Yeah.
there?
Oh yeah. I was a kid when they were filming that. I think I was like, man, how old was I then? Like 10 or something, or probably even younger than that.
Did you go out and
And
watch it? Thing?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I would come home from school, and I would be like crossing like the movie line to get to my house, and I was like real scared. Like I was scared to go up to Sly and say hi, and my dad actually grabbed me by the hand. He brought me right up to Sylvester Stallone, and he was like, hey, he says, this is my son. My son's name is Rocky.
That's awesome.
And then he looked at me, your name's Rocky. I was like, yeah. And he was like, Art, do you do any sports? Do you wrestle? Do you box? I was like, I actually am getting into wrestling. And he started talking to me, and he was like, well, you got to eat healthy. He says, do you eat salad? I was like, no. He was like, well, you better start.
I love it. Did you tell him that when you got to interview him? Did you tell him that you got to give
I
him?
mean, you really don't have a lot of time when you do like the round table interviews. Like you're
Yeah.
lucky to get like one question. Luckily, the second time I interviewed him, they actually gave me. I actually got a chance to ask him two instead of one, so
Oh,
I was really happy about that.
that's so cool, man.
Yeah.
I love it. You're such a good interviewer too, man. You do a great job.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
You make me feel
Thank you.
comfortable. So
Oh,
thank you.
okay. Yeah, that's what I try to do. So far, I mean, no one has ever said that I was like mean towards them, which I'm happy
Yeah.
about because I don't treat anyone bad. I don't treat like if you go to my page, like I have like all my stuff on there, and I always write like I don't, there's no hate in my room. Like I like to keep it positive and
Right.
leave negative stuff out,
Sure.
and putting people down and making fun of them. Like that's all negative. I don't like that. Like
It's
I
all
like to
love.
keep it positive and
Yeah.
upbeat.
Do you do reviews as well?
I do it for my site, like not for
Nice.
the Grue Rume Show, but for like the site, like the
Yeah.
Grue Monkey website. Like that's how I start. Like me and my buddy run it, and that's how we started out. We started out with as just a horror site, and then when COVID hit, they were like, "We're tired of reading your interviews. Can you get with the with the new era and actually do video interviews?"
I love it. And when do you record? Like you record now, and then when do you air it? Like a week later or something?
Yeah, yeah, like a cou- couple days after I do the
That's
interview, like
cool.
I'll post it. I post it to here and the website,
Nice.
and
And you'll do a review on the movie?
oh yeah, definitely will.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah.
Yeah, I hope I was clear on my true feelings. Like I said, I as a filmmaker coming from doing shtick comedy, um, that's always going to be part of who I am. So
Hmm.
there's a little bit of that in there as well at different times. Did you feel
Definitely,
that? Yeah.
definitely, yes, that
Um,
definitely, definitely.
and it was a learning experience for me, because we had tried horror a couple years ago, but we wanted to do It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia meet horror, and we did a movie called Happy Hour Slasher,
Oh, okay.
and that's on Amazon too.
Oh,
Uh,
sweet.
but that's a goofy, it has like It's Always Sunny vibe. Um, but yeah, we're just having a blast, man. We have Forget About It. That's now available on Amazon as well. That's through Scott. Um, that's that's a fun mockumentary we did.
Okay.
And then we have one called Special Victims Unit, which is like a Reno 911.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
And then we have Go Birds, which comes out
The
in
Eagles.
January. Yeah. Yeah, that's Weekend at Bernie's meet Philadelphia Eagles. So, but I'm really excited to be in the horror world, man. And I know fans are critical, but like I said, I'm just asking for a chance.
I mean, the fans could be critical, especially because in I mean I've been involved in the horror world for quite a while now, from when I first opened up my horror site to my video show. So I've been involved in the horror world for like quite a while. Like they can be critical when you first start out,
Yeah,
but then like once they warm up to you and see the product is good and all that stuff, and the horror fan base is like the most loyal fan base like you could ever meet. Like
that's
the
awesome.
yeah, like horror fans are so awesome and so loyal. And eventually when you have the second, and you'll probably have them come up to you and talk to you. You could probably do horror cons and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So you think that I'm pretty valid on my statement that what it is, and that look forward to that in the second. You think that's a valid statement, right?
Oh yeah, definitely,
Cool.
definitely.
Awesome. Awesome.
Well, all
You got,
right, buddy. I know uh, you have a couple
yeah,
kids in your house. So
yeah.
I don't want to hold I don't
If
want
you
to
have
hold you
anything
up.
else, I have a couple more minutes. But if there's anything else you want to ask me, feel free. You know, please. Anything else you got?
No, no. I mean, I think we covered everything. I wanted to push your
Cool.
film and talk about horror, and
We
we
did.
covered all that.
Who has been your favorite interviewer or interviewee so far? Like that you've done? Like, did you do anyone from Halloween 1 or no?
Halloween one. I'm trying to think. I don't think I did anyone from Halloween one. Like I tried getting Nick Castle, Michael
Yeah.
Myers' shape. I tried getting him. I never was able to get him. I tried John Carpenter, never was able to get him. Jamie Lee Curtis is definitely you can't
Yeah.
get her.
So who's been your biggest person you've had on the show?
Like big known wise, probably Sly, but
Okay.
like that was more of like a round table interview than a
Yeah.
one on one. So
How about 101?
like probably one on one. It has to be either Dan Radcliffe or William Shatner.
Oh, that's cool, bro.
Yeah,
Daniel Radcliffe, like the kid from the thing.
from Harry Potter. Yeah.
Yeah, no shit, bro. Good for you, dude.
Yeah, that was for my site, my Grue monkey site because the Grue Room and Grue Monkey are all in one.
Yeah, we
And
got like you got a lot of followers, right?
yeah. Like the Dan Radcliffe was a phone interview, and William Shatner was like a written one. Like I had to send him over the stuff, and he emailed back like his answers.
Okay,
Yeah.
good for you, dude. That's awesome, bro. I love it. Well, have
Yeah.
a great time weekend, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh,
Uh,
definitely. Like we're both gonna have fun at this horror con. Me on Saturday, you on Sunday.
Absolutely, and stay tuned, man, and I'll hit you up for the final cut.
Oh,
Uh,
sweet. Okay.
we're filming like December 4th and 5th,
All
uh,
right.
up here in the suburbs, like Broomall area.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll find a home for you. I'll find you something. There's like 6 pitches that are going to happen in the movie, like,
Okay.
that the writers are going to pitch.
Yeah.
And in there, there are going to be like some things that people have never even seen, like like 6 characters, like six,
Hmm.
which I really don't remember a movie that I can think of that's similar to that kind of thing. Where
Exactly.
like there's Trick or Treat, which was like I think that was different characters and
Well,
stuff, but
yeah, but Little
this is
Sam.
this is like a little more of a pitch though, so I think people are gonna love it. I'm excited.
Oh, sweet.
I'm
Thanks,
gonna
though.
get
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm getting into this horror world somehow, bro. Somehow I'm getting accepted. Here I come.
I think once the fans see this movie and then the second one comes around, I, I, I think you're good with your foot in the door in the horror world.
Awesome, bro. Well, I appreciate you. God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you too with the movie and everything. So thank you.
All right, buddy. I'm gonna hang up. You're good to go, right?
I'm good. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
You too, brother. I'll talk to you.
I'll
Bye
talk
bye.
to you. Bye.